Today I'm going to build this house in The Sims 4 with this color palette. So I'll admit, I am a little biased towards this build because I am also an Aquarius. So I say that, but I would not necessarily decorate or build my house this way. I was kind of going for a unique and quote-unquote weird vibe or aesthetic. Not saying that all Aquarians are weird, but that seems to be the stereotype. But I just wanted to create a unique build with a unique style. And I found this house off of Pinterest, and along with the color palette, I found that off Pinterest. And I just picked one. Well, I say that I just picked one, but we are still in Aquarian season. I don't necessarily follow all that stuff. I just find it interesting. And I went with this one because that's who I am, I guess. So I am not the greatest builder in The Sims 4. I think that I can build okay, but whenever I actually get down to it, I am not the world's greatest builder. I'm more of a create a sim kind of person, or just download it off the gallery. But I wanted to take this opportunity to increase my skills or learn more skills whenever it comes to building, because I'm not good at it. So I picked this picture off of Pinterest, and I was trying to replicate it. And it looked like it was easy enough, and I still think that it is. It's just sometimes things do not translate well over at The Sims 4, which is fine, or it just might be my skill level, which is also fine. What I also struggle with is what I also struggled with the past video, was putting the windows on the building or on the house and trying to make it look decent, because it might look okay from the outside, but then whenever you get on the inside, it just doesn't work. And as you can see here, I went the entire build not fixing that roof. I shouldn't say I didn't fix it, because I did fix it, but I moved it around a lot. And at the end is whenever I realized it. And I think I stopped recording at that time. So I was just like, oh well, that's not going to be on camera. And I did not add the footage in here, but I left a light out and I didn't squish it back in, or I didn't delete it. So I don't know if, I think that I cut it out, or I didn't use that footage. But I also didn't do any landscaping for this video because I was kind of missing my window. So I didn't do that. I think that also kind of makes it a little bit more unique, is, you know, what if the person or the sim that's living in this house is kind of weird that they don't have any landscaping. They just have more focus on the inside of their house and the exterior, which is a little bit more unique and can catch your eye. I don't know. That was just my thought going into it. And like I said, I rearranged this house so many times, but I think that the biggest struggle, like I said, was the windows, because I couldn't decide which color to use, and if I wanted to use the new windows or if I wanted to use the older windows. I didn't know what to do. And I think I also mentioned in the other video that I think it'd be cool to have like an auto snapping for the windows, so it kind of lines up with the other windows that are set, so it doesn't look all wonky. Which I know that we have a grid, but we just don't have like a snapping grid like that shows that the windows are balanced, and the door, so it kind of matches. So I want to take this portion of the video and say thank you to you guys who have watched the video, and those that have followed and liked the video. I think that's wonderful. I am doing something new, so I'm seeing how this works out and if I want to continue using what I'm using. And so far, I think it has been positive. I've received a couple more subscribers, which I know is like very small amount, but I still find it exciting that I'm gaining subscribers and not losing them, so that's a plus for me. But also I want to create quality content for you all, just to hang out and watch. Have I found my niche? Probably not. I do also have a personal channel that I plan on using a little bit more, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with that. I'm still trying to figure out this one, but I do think that it's going to be more personal and more day-to-day life, I guess, maybe events or certain trips that we take, something like that. I haven't quite decided yet. I just recently updated it because I was using my nickname, which is kind of for this channel here, but instead I used my real name just to make it more authentic, which I feel like that is more me in a lot of ways, is that, yeah, I can be weird, but I'm also authentic in the same way. I don't know, maybe that was weird. But back to the build. So I struggled with the layout for this living room because it is kind of small, but I don't know. I'm used to working with bigger areas, so it was a unique challenge for me, and I wanted to make sure that it was functional, because the house that I built the other day was not functional, even though it said that it was snapping to the grid and everything was green. Whenever I tested it out, my Sims couldn't walk through it, so there's that. See, I think that I would actually use that rug in real life. I like the checkered print, and I like the pink and green. I like that match. But yeah, so I'm learning what works and what doesn't work, and sometimes space is an issue, but I don't want to, make it too big and have to fill it with stuff that doesn't make sense, but rather than not make it too small so nothing fits. See, as you can see on the left hand side, that's where I left the porch light, or not porch light, but the light was outside the building or outside the house. So I didn't realize that until after the fact. So that was good. And I struggled with trying to keep with the color palette, because in The Sims 4 there's not a whole lot of purple, for example. I used all that I could find that looked decent with the build, but I tried to use everything. I don't think I used orange. I tried to use orange, but it just didn't look quite right. It's like everything looked okay in the color palette, but then whenever I made it in The Sims 4, it was just like, no, that's not going to work. So I think that maybe for the next challenge, I'm going to build a house that's with my style. And I don't know if I'm going to make it a huge house, because in reality that seems exhausting, but I think that a medium-sized house would be nice, and just mixed with my style and my husband's style. We can kind of go from there. But I'm curious as to what you guys want to see, so if you don't mind, you can leave a comment, or you can just leave a comment and say, hey, I'd like to see this, even though I may not be good at it, but at least it's entertaining, I guess. So I really didn't use any light switches in this build, because I like that they added that content to The Sims 4, but whenever it came down to me using it, I'd remember for one room, but then I'd forget for all the others. So wasn't ideal. So I forgot about it. Same thing with like laundry, and I think vacuuming or mopping. Oh, that is one thing that I do wish that they also had, was mopping. Well, I say that, but again, I just said that I forgot about it, so maybe not. And we've moved on to the kitchen, and I struggled with the colors for this, because I know for my last build I used all blue, and I didn't want to repeat that, but it looks really nice. But I eventually just used yellow, because it is part of the color palette, and it differs from the rest of the room. And see, I thought that looked okay, but I just had to change it because, I don't know, it was not what I had in mind, and I didn't really think that I could pull it off with the decorations and stuff. Because at this point I was kind of getting tired of decorating. Mainly frustrated because it's like, this is not how I planned it in my mind. But that's alright. It's part of the process. It's part of learning how to decorate and build. So I just think that it's a new skill that I'm learning. and hopefully everything works out. And see, this took me a minute. It was like, why is that not snapping? I was using end pieces instead of the actual bar pieces. So, and I think, yeah, I used like a teal aqua color chairs just to kind of offset the yellow, and it kind of matches the living room. So I just wanted to go off of that. And I also added a I used like a brick that was kind of a teal color to kind of match the chairs. So it is definitely unique and colorful and eclectic, I guess. Again, it's not necessarily my personal style, but it is out there and it is weird, at least in my opinion. But I think it's fun. Would I decorate my house like this? No. I do think that's what I'm going to do for my next challenge is decorate my own house. I know that I've said that already, but I just kind of want to emphasize on that. And I keep forgetting about these little appliances. And so I just added one of them in. But maybe I need to play with that more in my own gameplay. Is to add that in there. Just to see, like, for cooking skills. And I also really haven't, like, made anything and sold anything in The Sims 4. I've always just had, like, a regular job. But I think that with the new pack coming out, like the businesses and hobbies, I think that puts more emphasis on these things. So it makes you want to learn so you can teach others, for example. Okay, so this is probably one of the weirdest rooms of the house is the bathroom. Again, I just used blue because it's part of the color palette, but it just all kind of works better than other colors, I guess. And I don't know. I like that tile, I guess. And I don't know. I just like that, and it kind of just pulls it all together. But it is kind of weird because of how it's laid out. And luckily, I moved the toilet away from the window because that makes sense. And instead of having like a blue interior for the bathroom, I just had, or the blue wallpaper, I had pink. I think I like this bedroom the most. I like the darker teal color. And I think I used a fuchsia. Yeah, I used like a fuchsia drapes, which I like fuchsia. It's probably one of my favorite colors. And the rest of it's pink. So I think that I would personally sleep in that room or have it decorated. So maybe that's more reflective of what my style is. But we'll see. And I just reused some paintings because it kind of matches the rest of the house. And yeah, this was the easiest room. The laundry room was the easiest room, which thank goodness. And I know that I realized, or I know that I was looking at that extra bedroom, but I forgot that I had another bedroom. I was like, I thought I already did the bedroom. No. I did, but I used a different one. Or I already built another one, but I had a guest bedroom. So, kind of worked out. I just reused paintings again, and this is more of like a guest room. So, we are nearing the end of the video. I hope you liked it. And here is the build. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the video in the channel. Thank you.